Hey guys, this is Angie, and I'm going to talk about my own faults because I know that I talk too much, and most likely I talk to myself out of working somewhere. But I learned from that lesson, and sometimes you have to go through something to learn something, and that's exactly what I did. Um, the management after I'd already packed, like I had quit and left 6 hours ago, to come calling me talking about that I was combative. He had said that before when he talked to me. And I'm like, really? Really? Combative means ready to fight, easy to anger to fight. I am not a fighting type. I haven't had a fight. Oh my God, just me fighting? No? What, sixth grade? Come on now. I am not the fighting type or even, crying type. That's about it. My first trainer, wonderful guy. And I can analyze what I said that probably messed that up is that I was really eager to do this 45-degree and 90-degree turn, which I had never done before. So I was really eager to do that. And in the second week, we still hadn't really done any, backing up as into per se what I would need to test out in. So I was very eager to do so. So when one day I really just wanted to do it, and I was in a truck, and he was like, no, just do what I say, just do what I say, just do what I say. And I'm like, I want to back up, I want to learn how to do the turn. And he was like, no, because people come around the corner and I don't want. So I really wanted to do it. And he was like, well, if you want somebody else to teach you, you got to get somebody else to teach you, because right now you got to do it my way. And I'm like, okay. And when he said that, I was like, okay. And I just did it his way. And so the second day, I was like, I really want to do this backing up, to learn how to back up in the 90 and the 45, which I still didn't even understand what it was. Watched a few YouTube videos, and I was trying to do it. And so they said the same thing again the second day. Now, if you want somebody else to teach you, we can find somebody else. And I was like, okay, not being combative, not arguing with him, not getting loud, just okay. So I went in and I called the representative who represents the students, and I said, he said for me to find somebody to help me backing because I'm eager to back and we're not backing. And when I told her that, she took him away from me. My fault, my big mouth. He was going home every day. I was going to the hotel every day, refreshed, ready to drive, getting my mileage. Learning how to drive on heels, learning everything. So, and he was a great teacher. I'm gonna say his name, Anton, great teacher. Um, so that's how I messed that up with my big mouth. My second trainer, on the second day, he sat in the back. He slept most of the time. He showed me, about the gas and how to, get my own gas card. He gave me my own gas card, got that. So I was pumping gas after that. So really much, I did everything myself. He never checked behind me. When I would hook up the truck, he'd never check up behind me. When I would check the numbers, he'd never check behind. He never checked anything. He would just stay in the cab or he'd sleep. So most of the time, so I looked at that as a learning experience because I mostly had to figure things out for myself and learn them. He did help me back one time. Was it once? Oh, maybe twice. He helped me back to teach me how to do the proper backing. But after that, the most of the time was either follow his girlfriend right after the truck, or be meeting him up here, and he just stayed on the phone with her most of the time. And I know I talk a lot, and I got involved in his personal life, which I shouldn't have done. That was where my mistake lied. I could have kept on letting him sleep all day and be with her all day and just learn how to drive myself and got my miles done and learn how to back myself, because most of the time when I backed up and parked the trailer, he was sleeping. So I was learning on my own, which I should have kept it that way instead of but then I got angry because you would be back there 5 or 6 hours while I'm driving, and then you jump up front with some speeding thing, or you didn't hit the brakes soft enough when you came up on the scale, and that just really ticked me off. So, which I should have just been quiet and said, okay, and just kept on driving instead of voicing my opinion, because he never was really there. He never was there. Like when I needed him, if I was up front and I didn't understand a street sign or something like that, and I'm screaming, help me, Franklin, he didn't wake up. never woke up. I can scream and he would still be asleep. Even when the truck broke down, he was laying in the grass, and then he got in the truck, he went to sleep. I signed the paperwork, after the truck got fixed, and I drove off to the next stop. He never woke up. But that training, I got a chance to learn a lot. And the day that I got mad about the scale situation, I should have just shut up. And I was probably, get all my hours out with him and finish training. And he said I was good enough to even get my own truck, but I need to get at least 140. So they probably put me with someone for a couple of days to get my 140. But he said I was good enough to drive. So, and I should have stayed out of his business. Even though he was talking his business, I should have just stayed out of it and stopped trying to be his mother and saying, stay with your wife. Don't leave her for this, and don't do this, and take care of your baby. Don't do this, don't do that. I should have stayed out of it. There's my big mouth again. So, talking about the lessons that I learned from my 4 trainers. And my second trainer was supposed to be only 2 days to get 140. And once I got 140, he was supposed to sign my paperwork so I could get my own truck at Werner. And it turned bad. The first day was wonderful. He talked to my friends, and which I shouldn't have done, which I shouldn't have told him about myself. Because a lot of times I feel like I need to tell people about myself so they can like me. And I need to stop that. I'm 52. Who cares who likes me? Who cares? And, and if you're going through that, because I don't really get out, I don't date, I don't go to parties unless it's my best friend's party. I don't do anything. So when I do get around people, I just try to make them like me. And I should not do that. And this job has taught me not to care anymore. Don't care if you don't like me. I don't care if you know anything about me. I do not care anymore. So that's a terrible thing to say that that's what happened, but that's how I feel now. And so in the second training, he was supposed to release me and sign my paperwork and we were supposed to do everything. And I was supposed to get my truck. And because he said I didn't need any more training, I should be a trainer. And then we got into the argument. And it is my fault because of my big mouth. And I was on the phone with my sister when he was driving. And I was like, my sister is right around the corner. Wow. And I said, my sister is in, at the distribution center or somewhere and picking up a load because she drives trucks too. And he was like, when the last time you seen her? I'm like, 2 years. And he was like, really? You want to go see your sister? And I'm looking at him like, yeah. So I should have kept my mouth closed. I shouldn't have informed him that my sister was close by. That was my fault. And he felt obligated to offer to let me see her. So that was my fault because I opened my big mouth again. And so after that, it was okay, smooth sailing, but the traffic was bad. So it took us about 15 minutes to get over there. And when we got there, my sister was gone. She wasn't parked where he told her to park. But the sign said no parking. So I understood why she moved. But she only moved like a block down at this feed store and was waiting on us. And I was trying to explain that, but he got irate. He started cursing and screaming. And why did she move her effing truck? She didn't have to move it. Why did she move it? She could just stay right here for a few minutes. You see all these other trucks here. If she wouldn't have got a ticket, they're not getting a ticket. It just started screaming. And I can't take arguing and screaming. And he was doing that. And so he went totally bipolar on me. Just changed his whole demeanor. And then we get down the road. I was like, what do you want me to do? Do I turn left to see my sister or do I turn right? And I'm like in tears. So not being combative. I don't know where the office got that from or how he lied. I was just crying. If crying means combative, oh well. I was crying. And so he starts screaming like, go that way. Your sister should have been in the damn spot I told her to be in, So that's what he said. And so after we turned the other way and went down the road, he started saying things like, now you're going to be mad at me because I did not let you see your sister. And then I'm going to be the bad guy. I'm going to be the bad guy. And he just starts worrying about this, and I'm like, oh my goodness, why did I even mention my sister was there? I'm like, you know what? No one has ever done anything for my sister or myself. No favors. So I don't need you to do anything. Okay. That was the end of that. I just want to do this job. I want to get out of this truck, get my own truck and work. That's all I want. And so after that, I was like, so no more personal talking to this guy, because he is, okay. So I didn't talk to him anything personal after that. So he offered me a banana. Do you want a banana? I'm like, no. Oh, you ate my bananas at first, but now you don't want my bananas? And he got mad about that. Then he offered me some chicken. I'm like, no. Got mad about that. So he was angry that I wasn't talking to him anymore. He was like, first I'm the best trainer in the world. Now I'm the worst person in the world. I at least need to know why I'm bad, why I'm the worst trainer now. I need to know, he just kept badgering me. I'm like, don't want to talk to you. I just don't. It's not about this job. I don't want to talk. So I tried to follow all of his directions, do everything that he said do. Even when I got out to watch the red light, when they're filling up the trailer, he gets out and says, you don't have to stand there and watch the light, actually watch it. I'm like, I'm okay. I'm enjoying the trees. And plus I was watching another driver back up and watching how he turned and watching how he backed up a trailer and pulled that one out. And he went and got another trailer. I was sitting out there learning and enjoying the weather, really. And he's upset about that. So I'm like, I'm not the one combative. He was. So after that, because I still wasn't talking to him, when he gets on the speaker, he tells me to call them, to tell them my liaison that I quit, that I was going to quit if she didn't give me my truck. And I'm like, I'm not calling that lady to say that. He's like, that's the only way you're going to get your truck. I've had many trainees do that, and I tell them what to say and they get their truck. So you need to do the same thing. And I'm like, no. Then my phone wasn't working. I couldn't get it to hook up to internet, couldn't get it to anything. I kept changing the SIM card because it was the SIM card that didn't go to the phone, but it was, I was able to get calls at first, and I couldn't get it to work. He would, mind you, he has a phone that works, would not let me use his phone, told me to go inside and find a payphone to use to call her, or he wasn't dropping me off or clearing me. And at this point, I am a nervous wreck. I'm on my third trainer. I am in tears. I am walking around this yard in tears going, is this man for real? He is ruining my life. So I get back in the truck. He says the same thing. Either you go in there and find a payphone, because I know you're lying. It's a payphone in there. I said, I haven't even lied. I haven't even said I didn't find a payphone. So what do you mean I'm lying? I didn't even say that. Well, you need to go in there and find a payphone so you can call her. And you do it now, or you not released from my truck. And I'm looking at him like, you know what? Just take me back to the base. Whatever you're going to do, you're going to do. So on the way back to the base, he drove. He took over driving. So he was driving. I just was quiet. And he just started going off. Oh, you don't like it now? You don't like me now? You don't like me now? And I'm like, just, but wait a minute. Before we left and got on the road, he gets on the speakerphone and calls the lady that he's telling me to call, Missy, telling me to call her, which she didn't ask me to call her, but he's on a loud speakerphone telling her, oh, I don't think she's a good driver. I don't think she needs her truck. She can drive, but no, she's not ready for her own truck. No. And he's looking at me and she's on there going, all right. And I'm like, why would you say that? And she's like, oh my, is she in the truck with you? And he was like, she mad at me or something, he tells her. And so he ends up hanging up, and I'm like, just in tears going, why is my life going like this? What is happening, And I couldn't understand it. And I'm like, it's because I opened my big mouth and I said something. I should have just kept my mouth closed when I first got in the truck. Didn't tell him about myself, and I do this and I do that, and I got a book and I got this and I got that, but I'm broke as hell. I have no money. I am broke as a cracker crumb. So I need to keep my mouth closed so I can open it and be fed, and stop feeding up everybody else. So that was my fault, talking too much to him in just 2 days. So he calls him and said he puts me out the truck instead of signing me out to get my own truck. So that ruined everything. So I'm waiting on another trainer, and I was going to go home. I was putting my things in my car to go home, and everybody talked me out of it, which I wish they hadn't, because I would have been better off just going straight to another company after that experience that no one in office believed. Instead of talking to him, they blamed me. Someone called and said, if you don't make it through the 4th trainer, you're fired, And I'm like, okay, so I should just leave right now. And everybody's like, no, don't leave. Don't listen to that. Just stay here. We're going to make sure you get trained. And then I asked for a female trainer. And then she was like, and I'm so easy. That's my fault. Don't fill out the paperwork. Leave it open. And I should have said, no, give me a female trainer. Don't put me in with a bunch of me. And, please don't put me in with a female trainer so I can get out of this and get my truck. That didn't happen. I let her talk me out of it. So I end up with another male trainer. And this one was a staunch Republican, so, and I didn't say anything about other than the fact that I owed taxes. This is the first time I ever had to pay taxes, and I made less than $6,000. Well, I made $100,000, and I got money back. If Obama, and he just started talking about, I was like, you know what? I don't want to talk about that. I do not want to talk about politics. Yeah, because we on the opposite end. We're on the opposite end. And I'm like, don't want to talk about it. Then he started talking about the Mexicans. Well, I got a bunch of Mexican friends, and they're so glad that Trump's in office. And he just started talking about his Trump this. And I'm like, oh my God, it's all over again. Why did I say something about my taxes? And I'm like, my big mouth again got me in trouble. So I don't think he liked me, and because I didn't want to talk politics. I didn't want to talk about that. I just want to talk about picking up these heavy boxes and putting them on this conveyor belt. And every place we went, I would say, why don't we pull straight up and back up? And that way we were on like rollers. The rollers would go from the back of the truck straight down into the store. No, he didn't want to do that. He wants to park on the other side. So the rollers got to bend and go this way, and everything just flying off the rollers. And I got to pick all this stuff up, flying off the rollers. And he didn't want to listen. I'm like, wow, this is what it's like. So when the staff came out, when he was talking to the staff, the staff said, we don't understand why you just didn't pull the truck in straight. So I look at him. He looked at me like it made him angry. It made him angry that I knew better than him. And then he turned around at the next stop, did the same thing the next day, pulling the truck in. I was like, okay, I'll put it in. I'm going to do it the way. I'm not going to argue with him. I'll pull in the way he wants me to pull in. So he wanted me to pull on the side of the building. And I'm like, how on earth that's going to work? So he makes his job hard. He makes his job. So I know one of the other girl was out 5 weeks. He makes the job harder for you. So I'm like, why don't we just pull in the alley and be right at the door? No. That's not the way you do it. We have to do it this way. I'm like, okay. So I was going to do it his way. And the girl was like, why don't you just pull in the alley and be by the door? But I did ask her, how the truck usually park? Because he told me. I always ask them how that the truck parked. And it was parked the same way that I said. So I'm quite sure that mess with his ego and make him mad at me. And me, my other fault is I didn't know how to get in those bunk beds. I am overweight. I could not fit up there. I tried. Even when he was out of the truck, I was trying to get the ladder down to see how I can get up there myself. I couldn't get the ladder. And I was really trying to get up there because he figuring that I'm not getting any sleep up front, which I really was getting some sleep. I was getting some sleep sitting in the front. It just was awkward sleep, but I got sleep. So I just couldn't get up there. And then one of the trainers, hey, Wally, he told me how to get up there. He was like, when you get up to the last ladder rung, you reach all the way to the back of the bed and pull yourself up. So when he taught me that, I was like, I didn't even think to do that. So, because he's my size, we're about the same size. And so once he taught me how to do that, I was ready, like, tomorrow I'm going to get into bed. I'm going to get some sleep. I'm going to get this out. I'm going to get my truck and feeling good about myself. So that day we ended up sleeping at the terminal. So of course I'm not going to sleep in the truck if I'm at the terminal. My friends are at the hotel. I'm going to go to the hotel. But one of my friends was kind of talkative. So I did not want to sleep at the hotel because I knew I wouldn't get any sleep. So I went to sleep in my car, which my seats go all the way back to the back seat and lay down. I got me some sleep in my car. And then later on that morning, I was going in and to sleep in the inside of the terminal on the chairs, but it was just too cold. And I was trying to be nice and not wake him up by getting my blankets out of the truck. So I didn't go wake him up. But I got some sleep. And so when we get in the truck, I open my big mouth again. And I say, I'm tired. But I'm not tired because I didn't get any sleep. I didn't say I was sleepy. I was tired because I just got through picking up a whole big 53-foot truck of boxes for the last 2 days, and I am not an athletic person. That's why I was tired. Has nothing to do with sleeping. And so he goes in behind my back instead of saying, well, you're tired. I really want you driving today. Or, just being a gentleman and letting me know that he felt like, I shouldn't be on the truck because I was tired. And he just didn't feel safe. Instead of telling me that, he went behind my back, got his other friend, because we were going around. Because first he made me pass by a truck. So I'm thinking, like, do he want me to go past this truck too? And I'm like, I don't see any room. I was stopping anyway. So the truck came on out anyway. So he's figuring that I'm going to keep on going and hit the truck. And I'm like, no, I wasn't. I was stopping. And before you even, you said stop, I was stopping anyway. So if you went in there and lied and said I was going to run into the truck, you were a liar. I was not going to run into that truck. Even if he came all the way out for me to back up, I just would have backed up. Okay? Because I didn't know what he was going to do. So, and I'm on the right side. So, he guess he on the right side too. But still, I wasn't going to hit that truck. I have never hit a truck, so I'm not wasn't about to hit that truck. So, he used that and had the guy come back in. They were in there plotting to get me fired. So and then I go, oh my God, it was on the thing that, they took me off the truck. He got me fired behind my back instead of just being a gentleman, knowing that I'm having a hard time right now in life and can't pay my bills. But of course, he's a Republican. He does not care. He has no heart, no soul. So he doesn't care. I ain't gonna say Republican. He's a Trump supporter. Not Republican. Republicans, there are some Republicans out there that care about people, because my friend is Republican and he cares about people. So I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say a Trump supporter. He doesn't care about people, just about how he's going to get ahead. So I'm going to put it that way. Mr. Curtis Ray was his last name. Sprinkle. That's his name. So, and I thought that was really mean of him when he could have just told me that he was going to, he thought I was too tired to drive. He either could have drove and then I was going to show him that I could get in the bed and go to sleep, because I figured out, someone helped me figure out how to do it. But instead, he put me off, went in behind my back, talking about me like a dog probably, and went in there and got me fired. And then when I get in there and asked him, why did you just get me fired? What happened? And he was like, I don't know anything about it. I don't know anything about what you're talking about. Let me call and find out. Lying. Liar. Liar, Mr. Sprinkle. Mr. Curtis Ray Sprinkle. You are a liar. And I'm sitting there going, why did you get me fired when you could have just told me? And I would just pack my stuff and got in my car and drove away instead of you doing it that way. And so he's in there doing that, lying and saying that he didn't call anybody. He doesn't know what's happening and he'll call and find out. And then he finally gets to the truck and we get halfway back to the place. And he says, well, I just felt when you said you were tired, I didn't feel safe with you driving. I'm like, why didn't you just tell me that? Why you had to be so evil? And when I got with him, I made sure I wasn't happy and smiley and being myself. I was trying to be Debbie Downer, just nothing, just doing whatever he told me to do, following orders, not saying anything against his orders, just doing what this man told me to do. Okay? Picking up the boxes, eating when he tells me that I'm allowed to eat, even if I was starving. I didn't even get out and drink water the first day, and that's why I caught a cramp while I was driving, because I didn't even drink water because I was scared to go get water out the truck unless he allowed me to get water out the truck. He didn't say to go get something to eat. I wasn't moving. And those boxes are heavy. And you picking up hundreds and hundreds of boxes, that's a lot of work. So I was really, 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 really trying. But I just think Werner wasn't for me, and God knows what's best. And that place wasn't for me. And he was dirty for doing that, but that was his choice, to be dirty and a liar. Like I want to say that he did not call in, which he did, instead of just telling the truth or just being a gentleman and saying, I know you're a broke person, don't have no money to pay your bills, but I'm about to make you lose your job, And I'm just, or just say, I don't feel, safe with you driving today. And then I would have packed my stuff, got in my car and left. And we would have left on on a cordial plane. But he was like, you don't have to be like that. You just made me lose my job. Most people would curse you out. Okay? Most people would scream at you and curse you out. I'm kindly getting my things out of your truck and putting them on the ground and not cursing you out, Mr. Curtis Ray Sprinkle. Okay? So most people would curse you out. I didn't curse you out. Did not get loud. All I said was, allow me to get my things out of your truck, please. In the kindest voice. And then you start touching my things, which you shouldn't have done. I'm like, dang, you just got through peeing and right behind my back. And now you put me out the truck. I ain't never peed in front of you. So, and then now you put me out the truck. So that did it for me. And next time I know to shut my mouth. Speak when I'm spoken to. Don't give out any information about your private life, about yourself, about your family, about who you are. It's just that I'm a truck driver. Who are you? I'm a truck driver. What do you do? I drive trucks. I've learned my lesson. I've meditated on it. I'm going to do some Tai Chi and some yoga, and I'm going to pray. Prayer helps out with everything. But when you pray, you must be steady, and you must be calm, and you must be collected, and you must believe. And I am working on all those things before I start my new job. And I thank God that I even thank God for the experience, because I don't really get out like that. I'm not in a private place sleeping in close quarters with other strangers, because I don't even date. So that hasn't happened for years. So it has taught me a whole lot. And it taught me a whole lot about being quiet and knowing when to speak and when not to speak, because I feel like I always need to speak. So I'm going to use this YouTube channel to calm myself, because YouTube is filled with a lot of introverts like myself, and I'm an introvert. So you guys learn when to talk and not to talk, but keep on doing it, because I am, because I'm Angie and I'm doing it. Bye-bye.